People who usually buy motorcycles don't like going slow. But we have a cult of bikers in India who have been buying the same old motorcycles from the past 50 years. The same carburetor, the same air-cooled single-cylinder engines. Well, we know who we're talking about. It's Royal Enfield. But Royal Enfield did release a couple of new bikes earlier in 2018. And one of them is this. And it has one of the coolest names ever put on a bike, the Thunderbird. And this is the Thunderbird 350X. Welcome to another episode of Crank It by the Gearhead Bureau. And today we're going to be reviewing the Royal Enfield Thunderbird 350X. So what's new about the new Thunderbird 350X? Well, for one, Royal Enfield has switched out the headlights to the new projector headlights, and the tail lights have been changed to LED tail lights. So Royal Enfield offers 19-inch black alloy wheels in the front and 18-inch black alloy wheels in the back. And the eye catcher for the new Thunderbird 350X is the petrol tank, which has a 20-litre capacity and offers a 700-kilometer range. People who usually buy the Thunderbird buy it to go touring. But as I observed, the rear suspension is a little rough and the front suspension isn't that great either. So the entire ride here, I felt a lot of strain on my lower back, and the riding position is a little bit too aggressive to go touring. Even though the bike comes with a 5-step adjustable gas-charged rear suspension and a 130mm travel fork in the front, the ride is still a little rough, and I think it won't be very suitable for long rides. And the stance of the bike is not very laid back like a cruiser, and it's not very aggressive as a sports bike. It's somewhere in the middle, and I found that a little unsettling and a little uncomfortable for a long ride. The bike comes with a 349cc engine, air-cooled and single cylinder, has an output of around 20 horses and 28 Newton meters of torque. The Thunderbird 350X comes at a curb weight of a whopping 195 kilograms. It has no ABS, and stopping it is a nightmare. It just keeps barreling on like a train. Most of the bulk in the engine comes from the super heavy crankshaft, which not only gives you a very high torque output, but also gives you various amounts of vibration and a really uncomfortable bumpy ride. The carburetor, I feel, could have had a stiffer spring for better throttle response. Otherwise, the carburetor is really healthy and it's suitable for the engine. I feel that the ride on the Royal Enfield and the handling of the bike could be way better if they had made the rear suspension a little softer and the front suspension a little more stiffer. If you observe the gearbox during riding, you can get to know that it's a classic Royal Enfield with a lot of clearances, very dreary shifting, and feels like a lot of false neutrals between gears. But in city rides, I think the torque holds up beautifully and there is no need to shift a lot of times in traffic. One of the plus points of the bike is it comes with a huge fuel tank of 20-litre capacity, and it promises a range of around 700 kilometers. But really, if you do 700 kilometers on the bike with this stiff suspension and that kind of aggressive riding posture, you're going to have some trouble. I feel that due to the new BS4 emission norms, the change in the exhaust of the Royal Enfield contributes a little less to the vibrations of the bike and makes it a little more sober to hear. Coming to the instrument cluster of the bike has two classically designed analog displays, one for the speedometer and one for the tachometer. The cluster also comes with a digital odometer, 2 trip meters and a fuel gauge. The Thunderbird 350X comes in only two colors, roving red and whimsical white. As a part of the bike review, it's also our responsibility to let the consumer know about the service maintenance of the bike. And turns out that Royal Enfield does not make that great of an attempt to satisfy its customers. Now coming to the real question, should you buy this bike or not? This bike comes with no ABS, whereas you can wait for 2 more months and buy the exact same bike with ABS for a slightly higher price. It's not only the ABS or the lack of ABS, but it's competitive bikes in the same price range as well. Java released 3 new motorcycles which have better performance and lesser price than the Thunderbird 350X. Along with the various drawbacks, the Thunderbird 350 also brings in a huge fan following. People will still buy the bike and have a lot of fun on the road. But what impresses me the most about the bike is it acted as a stepping stone to the 650cc motorcycle class of Royal Enfield. So this was the Thunderbird 350X from Royal Enfield. Thank you for watching Crank It by the Gearhead Bureau and stay tuned for more updates.